Hey, thanks so much for joining me for yoga class today. Today I wanted to take things outside to be in nature, so I'm on a really nice porch situation. And I just want to take us through a sequence that's going to help us get rid of some tightness, some tension, any congestion that you might be holding in your body. Now's the time to just move through a flow that's going to allow us to do that. So we'll start off in a comfortable seated position. We'll close the eyes, bringing the gaze inward. And as we do this, we'll let the hands relax to the thighs. As you feel your seat connected down to the mat, to the ground, to your space. At the same time, think about your crown of your head rising up towards the sky, really lengthening the spine. Today's class is going to give us an opportunity to practice balancing and just releasing tension from areas, especially in the back. So this will feel really good. With our gaze inward in our comfortable seat, we'll start to recognize our own breath. Simply noticing our breath, noticing each inhalation and each exhalation. Deepening the breath each time you inhale. And as you exhale, taking a sigh of relief, completely letting go. You've made it to your space, your time of practice. Now all you have to do is just listen, move, and let that tension go. Take a deep inhalation. Exhale, release. And another full round of breath. From here, start to flutter the eyes open, coming back into the space. Take your palms to your knees. Now as you inhale, open your heart, gaze up to the sky, little back bend. And as you exhale, round the shoulders, bring your belly button towards the spine. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round the spine. Now, as you continue to move between these two postures, so this is a seated cat-cow, notice how your back space feels. Notice any part of your back that feels a little more tight. Decide if there's anywhere that you need to pause to take a longer hold, getting a deeper stretch. And then start to even it out, reaching the crown of the head back up to the sky, finding that straight spine, axial extension. From here, we'll take the hands outside of the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up, fingertips towards the sky. Exhale, bring the hands in front of your feet. And keeping the hips connected, just start to walk your hands forward. So we're folding forward. And as we fold forward, we're able to get flexion for the spine, stretch the back. Now, as you're folding forward, if you notice that this feels uncomfortable for your knees, you can open the legs, bring them forward instead of having the knees bent. Let's take one more full round of breath here. Exhale, let go. Inhale, rise up. Back to our straight spine. And then we'll lift the arms up again on another inhale. Now this time as we exhale, we're going to twist to one direction, lower the fingertips down. Each time you inhale, find center. And each time you exhale, twist opposite direction. Movement is following the breath. Spinal twisting. And we'll take one more on each side. Now the next time you find center, just let the arms float down to the mat. Looking at your legs, if you do have your knees bent, just bring the leg that's in front behind. Now remember, we're going to fold forward, this time taking a gentle stretch for the opposite hip. If you felt discomfort at your knees the first time you did this, know that you can bring the legs forward as a different option. Now, once you feel settled with the legs, fingertips come in front. Inhale, crown of the head rises up. Exhale, walk the hands forward, slowly lowering down, feeling into this side. And you'll likely feel this at the hip of the leg that's in front. For me, that's the right leg, and I can feel that my right hip is definitely tighter than my left hip today. That's totally fine, no judgment, just honoring the body where it is and just offering ourselves time to release this congestion, time to connect with ourselves through our movement, and simply letting the practice be what it is today. On the next inhale, we'll slowly start to lift the head. Exhale, walk the hands towards the body. Inhale, arms rise up. Now, as you exhale, go ahead and lower one hand down to the mat. Inhale, reach the top fingers up. Exhale, fold over to your grounded hand. It might be more comfortable for you to walk that hand further away from the body. Keep the hips connected. Reach through the fingertips. Feel a nice stretch from the hip to the fingers. Inhale, both arms reach up, and then exhale, set it up, take it to the other side. That was so interesting. I could feel something pitching at my palm, and I was like, is this a bug? Nope, it was just a leaf. Nature always surprises us. Just allow yourself any sensations that are happening. Again, maybe noticing if one side feels different than the other. And on the next inhale, we'll rise up to center, and we're going to take that one more time in each direction. So this time you might notice if you can fold a little deeper. If not, no worries. But if you notice that one side was tighter than the other, then maybe give yourself more time in that side. So for me, it's this side, so I'm going to go ahead and come into it. If you want equal time on both sides, you can make that transition now. And let the bicep hover above the ear, reach through the fingers. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, take the hands down in front of the legs. Now we are going to change the station of the body. So we're moving from seated to kneeling. So you can use your energy to bring your hands forward. Come into a kneeling position. And as you come into this kneeling position, think about setting the wrist in line with the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Look to your hands. Make sure your fingers are spread wide. Now, as you inhale, you can lower your belly towards the mat. And as you exhale, you can lift your back like a Halloween cat. So now we're in a kneeling cat-cow. Movement following the breath. Just giving a little more attention to our back, finishing off this round. And once we get to our neutral tabletop position, we'll walk the hands forward, one hand placement. This will offer us a little more space. And we'll start to press the hips forward, keep the arms straight. Now, when you're ready to exhale, lift the hips, take them back, come into child's pose. Continuing to move with the breath, inhale, shift forward, press the front of the hips towards the mat. Exhale, lift the hips, take them back to the heels. One more round. We're also getting shoulder mobility as we do this. And this time, as we come back, we'll take an extended child's pose. So in your child's pose, you can reach your fingers forward, stretching the arms and the shoulders, the upper back. Or you can bring your arms by your sides to relax the shoulders. Knees can be wide for gentle hip opening. Or knees can be together for more flexion for the spine. This is especially helpful for the low back. Child's pose is very therapeutic. Remember this one anytime you feel discomfort at your low back. And if your arms are by your sides, bring them forward. Lift the hips. Come back to your neutral tabletop. Let's practice a little kneeling balance here. So we'll lift and lengthen that right leg. Now you've got the option to stay like this if this feels like a challenge enough for you, or you can lift your left arm, reach it forward. Now, if you want to engage your core, you can bring your knee towards your elbow and then re-extend. Maybe try that a couple more times if you feel stable. The next time you lengthen the left arm and the right leg, you can bend the right knee, take the left hand back. See if you can connect hand to foot, press your foot to your hand, gaze forward. Take another full round of breath here. And then release, re-lengthen. Left hand comes down. Tap the right toes to the back of the mat. So just the toes come down. Now press that heel back. Get a nice stretch for the calf muscle. And then bend the knee. Let that right knee come down to the mat underneath the right hip in line with the left knee. Coming into the other side, inhale, lift and lengthen that left leg. Option to stay here. Option to lift that right hand as if you're going to reach forward to shake someone's hand. Now you can stay here, or you can bring your hand back down if you feel a little wobbly, or you can take a few crunches. So knee comes towards the elbow, and then extend the right arm, left leg, crunch at it again, and then we've got one more. As you reach your right hand forward, left leg back, option to bend the knee, right hand comes back, connecting hand to foot, gazes forward, press your foot to your hand, feel into the quad and the psoas. On your next exhale, gently release the foot, re-extend. Now the right hand comes down to the mat, lower the left toes, left leg is straight, press the left heel back. Give yourself a couple rounds of breath here for this calf stretch. And then soften the left knee, bring it down to the mat, underneath the left hip, in line with the right knee. Looking at your hands, walk your hands forward, one hand placement. Now, curl your toes. We're coming into an inversion now, lifting the hips way up high, and then pressing them back. We're coming into downward facing dog. So think about sending your chest towards your thighs, ears between the biceps. Here you can bend one knee as the opposite leg straightens, and then try that on the other side. Continuing to take this movement if this feels good in your body. Come back to your down dog. Start to walk your hands towards your feet. So you're coming towards the back of the mat. Inhale, take a half lift. And then exhale, fold. Now as you come into your fold, just let your arms dangle. Notice how your back feels. Relax your head and your neck so the top of your head is pointing down to the mat. You might look down to your feet, lift your toes, spread them wide. Now, another option you can take is to take your hands to opposite elbows, framing your head with your arms, getting a little more traction for the spine. If your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can bend one knee, straighten the opposite leg. I really like this option because I can feel a deep stretch going up my straight leg into the hip. And also, if I send the hip back of my straight leg, I can go even deeper, feeling into the hip and the low back. So just feel it out, try the options, see which one your body is responding to, and take that. taking time to stretch the back of the body. If we want to go even deeper, we can take our hands to our ankles and then pull our torso towards our legs. Relaxing the hands anytime you need to. And here we can even take an optional shoulder stretch. We take the hands behind the low back, interlace the fingers, press palms together, inhale, lift the fist up towards the sky. And then exhale, gently release. Take the hands down to the mat. Walk the hands forward. And go ahead and come into a plank position. Now, from your plank position, we're going to lower down onto the belly. So you can do this by lowering your knees. Then bend your elbows, lower your chest and your chin. Now, as you come onto your belly, come onto your forearms, position your elbows underneath your shoulders. Give yourself a full round of breath here. Notice how your back feels. Know that we're going to set up for a variation of spinal twisting. This time we're going to be able to go deeper than the first option we had at the start of this practice. So starting off with the right leg, we'll bend the knee, bring the knee in line with the hip, and then send your foot out in line so your ankle is in line with your knee. Now look back to your hands, lift your left hand, reach it up off the mat, take it to the back of the right knee. Bring the left side of your head down to the mat. And as you inhale, reach your right fingers up to the sky. And as you exhale, open your arm out. Now, if your back has been really tight, you might feel some stiffness. That's okay. Let yourself ease into it. Your hand might touch down, or it might not. If your arm is hovering and that's uncomfortable, you can always position a prop underneath it, like a block, blanket, or a pillow, or just let it hover if that feels safe. On the next inhale, we'll lift the fingers up, and exhale, take the hand down. And releasing your hand from the back of your knee, use your energy to lift your torso, lengthen your leg, come back onto your belly. Now we're in a prone position. Forearms are grounded, elbows are under the shoulders. Full round of breath. Now looking over to the left, bend the left knee, bring the knee out in line with the hip, and then take the ankle in line with the knee. Looking back to your hands, lift your right hand, take it behind the left arm, weaving it through, hooking it onto the back of the knee, right side of the head comes down. Inhale, lift the arm up, and then exhale, open the arm out. Give yourself time to ease into this side. The side is tighter for me than the other, but that's okay. That's just where my body is today. You might even feel some cracking and popping of little releases. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, take it down. Use your energy to push the mat away, lengthen the leg, come back onto your belly. Enjoy a full round of breath here. And from here, we'll lower the chest down, take the hands underneath the shoulders, and then use your energy to press the floor away, straighten the arms, lift the hips at the same time. Let's come back into that neutral tabletop position. Knees are under the hips. And then we're going to walk the hands forward. So fingertips towards the top of the mat. Arms might even come off the mat. Now, as we lower the chest down, we want to keep the hips above the knees. This is our melting heart pose, also known as puppy pose. With each exhale, think about letting the heart melt down to the mat. Slowly coming out, bring your left hand under your left shoulder. Lift your head, take your right hand under your right shoulder. Pause here for a full round of breath. Inhale deeply through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Lift your left leg, take your left foot outside of your left hand. Press the hips forward. So we can stay here for a round of breath or two, rocking the hips from side to side, getting into the hips, and then we're going to get into the side body. So this is going to be nice lateral flexion for the spine. Looking at the left hand, take the space between the index finger and the thumb to hug the heel. Lift the right hand, reach it to the top right corner of the mat. Keeping the arms straight, start to sink the right hip towards the right side of the mat. Really important, keep the arms straight. And the more you sink down, the deeper you're going to feel the stretch on the right side of the body. I can feel a really nice deep stretch from my right hip all the way up to my right shoulder. It feels amazing. This is definitely one of my favorite postures. And then pressing into the right hand, lift your torso to center. Take your left hand to the inside of your left foot, right hand in line with your left hand. Curl the right toes, come off of the right knee. Now use your energy to step your right foot outside of your right hand. Lift your hips, straighten your legs. Notice any difference between your right leg and your left leg. Then bend the knees again. Lift the left foot, take the left toes back, lower the left knee down. So starting in this lizard lunge, making sure that the right hand, left hand are in line with the right foot. Hips are pressing forward. We might rock the hips from side to side, getting a little deeper into the hip space. Letting that tension go. And then finding center, looking at your hands. Take the space between the index finger and the thumb of the right hand to hug the right heel. Palm is pressing down. Lift the left hand, reach it to the top left corner of the mat. Remember, keep straight arms and slowly let the left side of the body sink down to the mat. Feel the space between the ribs start to open up. Let that tightness go. Your back will be much happier after this class. Now pressing to the left hand, lift the torso back to center. Take the right hand to the inside of the right foot, left hand in line with the right. Curl the left toes, come off the knee. Use your energy to step the left foot outside of the left hand. Lift those hips, straighten the legs. Maybe now you take the hands to the ankles and pull your body towards the space between your legs. Release your hands. Inhale, take a half lift. Now, as you exhale, rotate the toes out, heel slightly in, and start to sit towards the mat. So we're coming into our yogic squat, Malasana. Bring the palms together. Elbows are to the inside of the knees, and then bring the thumbs towards the heart center. Now, in our Malasana, the elbows are opening the knees. The hips are opening, the low back is releasing. As you inhale, you can shift weight to your toes. And as you exhale, you can shift weight to the heels. Just making little micro movements. Find center. Release the hands, take them behind you for support. Come onto your seat. Bring your feet in front of you and then start to lay back. As you come into this reclined position, bring your heels in line with your glutes. Arms by your sides, palms are facing down, so our arms are acting like anchors. We'll start to articulate the spine. So as we inhale, we'll lift the hips, press them up. And as we exhale, we'll lower from the top of the spine, bone by bone, all the way down to the tailbone. Once the tailbone meets the mat, we'll do that again. Inhale, lift the hips, press them up. Exhale, lower down, bone by bone. And then one more time. Now this time you can lower down, or you can bring your hands underneath your body, interlace your fingers, press palms together, drive the fist into the ground, keep those hips lifted. Opening the front of the body, pressing those hips up. And then when you're ready to come out, release the hands, roll the shoulders out, lower down, bone by bone. Let your tailbone meet the mat. Pause here for a full round of breath. Now, if your body is like mine and you hold most of your tension in your back, especially your upper back, you're going to like this next one. So we'll lift the feet off the mat, send the feet straight up to the sky, bring your legs together as if you've got one leg, and then take your right hand under your right glute, left hand under your left glute. Inhale, send the feet up, and then take the legs overhead, coming into Halasana, Plow pose. Hands can support the low back. Maybe your toes touch the ground behind you. If you feel really comfortable, you can bring your arms down. Feel that nice deep stretch in the back. Make sure that the weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck. Make sure that you don't look from side to side. You want to protect your neck, so keep your head straight. And if it's available in your body, you can go deeper by bending your knees and bringing your knees outside of your ears. You might even rest your arms at the back of your knees. To safely come out of this shape, you can hook your peace fingers onto your big toes and slowly roll out. Taking your time to slowly reconnect your spine. You can take an optional happy baby here if you'd like. Maybe rocking from side to side, or maybe straightening one leg as the opposite knee stays bent. And then when you're ready, just release the feet. Send them down to the mat. Take a full round of breath. If your body wiggled around, you can recenter yourself on the mat. And then lengthen the legs, bringing the heels of the feet to the corners of the mat. Create space between the legs, space at the armpits. Tuck your chin towards your chest to lengthen the back of the neck. Palms can be facing up as an intention of receiving energy. Or you can rotate the palms facing down as an intention of grounding. You decide. And this time, the eyes will close. And we just allow ourselves to come into stillness. Allowing ourselves this time of presence, this time to soak up our practice and to just let ourselves be without doing. So this is our relaxation pose, our Shavasana, time to integrate the work that we've done through our movement. You could stay here for as long as you'd like. You can take a nap. You can move into meditation, or you can simply end your practice here. This is totally up to you. At this point, we'll close our practice together here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Know that anytime your body feels like it needs attention, you can always find time to come into your practice. Taking time to serve yourself. Namaste.